Bitrise step and workflows. Who's this?
All right, so you must have heard iOS and Android engineers speaking about Bitrise. So Bitrise is basically CI/CD platform for Android and iOS. It's similar to Circle CI, Jenkins, but it specializes in mobile platforms. Next. So the building block of Bitrise is a step. So what is a step? Step can be any smallest task that is required in the process of building. It can be git clone because it's running on the remote machine, and remote machine need to clone our git repository. So that can be one step. Another can be install Android SDK. Its own step. Then some Gradle task like unit test task or some other custom check task. Then Android build, like a building Android application itself, it's a step. Then sign the Android artifact, it can be another step, and deploying to Google Play Store can be a step as well. Next. So what is workflow? Workflow is essentially the collection of the steps which I just mentioned. So we can have different workflows based on different needs. So the way Android works is like for Android, develop is our like primary branch. So all our features goes into the develop, and whenever we want to release the application, we would create release candidate branch off of the develop branch and will merge into the master. Whenever it's merged into the master, it's ready to publish on the Google Play Store. So we have two workflows here. One is primary, which just checks for like code health, like link check and unit test, and then deploy workflow, which essentially publishes on the Play Store. Next. So how can we trigger these workflows? So there are like 4 ways to trigger it. First is whenever a new pull request is created. So as I mentioned, Android team requires this when a pull request is created to the develop branch. So whenever a pull request is created to develop branch, we do lint check, static code analysis, and unit tests. Then another trigger can be commits whenever new commits are pushed. So as I mentioned, whenever release candidate branch is merged into the master, we want to trigger deploy workflow to deploy a new version of app to the Play Store. So we use this for deploy workflow. Then there is one option that you can configure is whenever a new tag is created. We don't use this as of now, and you can also trigger a workflow manually as it's needed. Next. So this is how our the primary workflow for Android looks like. First few steps are just setting up the cloud machine. Then next few steps are like change log check, then kt-lint, which is like lint check for Android, then detect, which is static code analysis, and unit test. Once all of this passed, then we will build the Android app, and we will just save the artifacts on Bitrise cloud so that we can use it later for QA and other tasks. Next. So deploy flow is basically some more steps after the primary workflow. We do all of above, and then we check what's new length check. So basically there is a limitation what's new can go in the Google Play Store. So that is that check. Then we build a production Android application. Then we generate a report for our test code coverage. Then we sign the application so that we can upload. And then finally we upload our artifact to Bitrise IO. And the final step is like deploying to Google Play Store. Yeah, I think this is the last.